The animated film Another World premiered in late October this year. It is the first Hong Kong animation to be selected for the Annecy International Animation Film Festival in France since My Life as MacDowell in 2003. In 2019, Polly Yeung adapted Saijo Naka's novel Thousand-Year Journey of an Oni into a 14-minute short film. Later, with funding from the Film Development Fund and Saudi investors, it became today's 111-minute, written by Polly Yeung, directed by Tommy Ng Kai Chung, and produced by Polly Yeung and Zheng En Kai. When discussing international animation, Eastern audiences often use Japanese animation as their benchmark, evaluating works based on their resemblance to Japanese anime. Of course, Another World is viewed through this lens. Upon closer examination, the film both shares similarities with mainstream Japanese anime and features notable differences. Despite operating within tight constraints, the production team has created a refreshingly unique and touching work. The similarities with Japanese anime start unsurprisingly with the visuals. Some viewers with me commented that they could hardly distinguish Another World from Japanese anime. At first glance, the artwork resembles mainstream Japanese animation, which many may feel when seeing promotional materials. However, for those who pay close attention during the screening, even if not familiar with animation production, experienced viewers will notice subtle differences in finish and style compared to most Japanese anime. The chief distinction is that the visual continuity in Another World is lower. That is, transitions between frames are less smooth, producing a noticeable skipped frame effect. This is clearly due to budget constraints. To achieve seamless visual movement, countless additional frames would be needed. Unlike some productions, Another World didn't outsource animation to lower-cost studios in mainland China. Instead, the backgrounds were hand-painted in watercolor and combined with 3D techniques, with every detail painstakingly created. Perhaps fully aware of these limitations, the team avoided aiming for a grand style, deliberately opting for a minimalist approach rather than mimicking the lush aesthetics of Miyazaki or Shinkai Makoto. The Outer World, the transitional space where souls await reincarnation, the fields, and other natural settings are rendered as vast, open spaces with few details. The latter half's factory scenes are dominated by grey, oppressive buildings and machinery. The effect is intense. If one must compare Another World to Japanese anime, its closest analog is Land of the Lustrous, which itself is a rarity in style among anime. This approach heightens the contrast between characters and their surroundings. In limitless landscapes, the characters seem trivial. In monstrous grinding systems, they are powerless. This visual treatment reinforces the film's narrative. The protagonist Yuli is, over 1,000 years, only a fleeting presence. Her fate is tragic, marked by misfortune and despair. It is unclear whether the team first considered production limits and settled on the style, or vice versa. In any case, the result is a cinema experience where story, tone, and craft work together seamlessly to create atmosphere. The story itself is simple and unfolds a single-threaded plot, wisely avoiding the pitfalls of overestimating what the creators could handle. Another World excels at storytelling. The film's first half introduces 3 sequential segments: Yuli's entry into the Outer World, Princess Goran's quest to avenge her father, and Farmer Kern's rebellion. Each narrative pauses at the right time, leaving suspense, and subtly sets up future plot points that are later revealed. For example, Yuli searches for her missing brother, only to learn she ate him during a famine, which greatly increases her likelihood of becoming a demon. Goran suspects treachery at court and launches a massacre. Centuries later, as Ying, she awakens and deeply regrets her violence, making Gudo's effort to save her even harder. As Kern climbs a snowy mountain in search of a demon, he finds a piece of bread, later revealed to have been left by Gudo, showing his 1,000-year pursuit of Yuli. At various points in history, Gudo appears to reincarnated versions of Yuli, explaining that while he usually guides souls, he currently has another mission: which viewers later learn was assigned by goddess Mira, rooting out the demon seed from Yuli's every lifetime. These setups aren't convoluted, nor do they need elaborate exposition. The film stays true to its medium, using visuals, character traits, and measured dialogue to advance the plot, rather than dropping info dumps through a narrator or suddenly shifting a character into a storyteller role. Similarly, because the script closely focuses on Gudo's 1,000-year guardianship of Yuli, many plot developments echo the emotional connection and spend nearly 100 minutes building up the bond, giving the story deeper emotional impact. Another work incorporates Buddhist ideas, but isn't trying to promote Buddhism or explore Buddhist philosophy. Instead, it borrows the worldview to tell a story about love. The film's approach to portraying this love is unusual, especially in the latter part when Yuli, about to reincarnate, asks Gudo near the waterfall, "Will I forget you?" Gudo answers, "No matter where you go, I'll find you." Chronologically, this is Yuli's first reincarnation in the story, but narrative sequencing places this after recapping Yuli's past, Princess Goran's and current stories, so viewers feel Gudo has pursued Yuli over many lifetimes, confirming his earlier promise was true. Another world doesn't have the qualities that recent anime fans overrate as ep80 work. There are no radically novel ideas, unexpected plot twists, or wildly imaginative world building. Instead, it tells an apparently ordinary story just right, rearranges its narrative order for maximum effect, and works wonders even within existing limitations. Truly dancing in chains, showing real craftsmanship. The film's framework is logical and reasonably constructed. Viewers needn't spend the whole 100 minutes deciphering setting details rather than appreciating the movie. The only flaw appears when the plot reaches its climax. The outer world is bound by countless ropes and even Goddess Mira is immobilized. But all it takes is for Gudo to resolve his inner struggles to eradicate the entire calamity. In the story, Gudo is merely one of the spirit guardians, similar to a psychopomp in folk beliefs. So it's sudden when he gains world-changing power, wherein his emotional knots can entangle the whole outer world, and he alone can save everyone. Of course, viewers can understand the story wants to create tension, the fate of the outer world hanging by a thread, everything depending on whether Gudo can reverse it. So the audience is gripped by the final plot moments. Since this is a highly anticipated local Hong Kong animation, viewers expect Hong Kong features. The movie uses Buddhist elements when Zen Buddhism is the widely practiced faith in Hong Kong and East Asia, and these ideas are prevalent in popular culture. Few animations have explored Buddhism. I can only think of The Garden of the Sinners by Urobuchi Gen, Nasu Kinoko, and Takeuchi Takashi. When Princess Goran goes mad, with her hair loose and dressed in a long red gown, her messy and dim room is reminiscent of Hong Kong horror movies. Dark Knight plays both a key plot driving role and provides comic relief with witty lines typical of Hong Kong cinemas. For example, he says when he is frustrated, "I've got a headache, even though I don't have a head." It doesn't go excessively nor overshadows the main plot. Perhaps the creators felt that the heavy themes of reincarnation and tragedy needed the lightness of humor to keep the movie enjoyable, finding a balance between art and entertainment. Viewers can free to like or dislike certain elements or themes, and animation productions can never be perfect. There are always numerous aspects that could be improved. Considering the film's production constraints and comparing its achievement to contemporary works in animation and cinema, Another World stands out as an excellent Hong Kong animation and is well worth watching. If you have any idea or like this video, please comment, like, subscribe and share. I'll be grateful if you support me on Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon, making us go even further. See you on the next video.